The case of US Army Private Travis King is only just opening a new chapter back in the United States, where questions are yet to be answered, such as how is his health, both mental and physical, and what punishment might he face for escaping across the inter-Korean border last July. And then there's also the wider issue of where all this leaves North Korea's relationship with the US. What we know so far is that since landing via a military flight back to the US and freely walking from the plane, albeit surrounded by what looks like his military handlers, King's been undergoing medical evaluations at a military hospital in Texas. It's already clear that the 23-year-old's in a much better physical condition than college student Otto Warmbier had been when he was released following 17 months of captivity in North Korea. Warmbier was returned to the US in a coma before passing away in June 2017. As well as medical screenings, according to a Pentagon spokesperson, King was set to meet with professionals to assess his emotional and mental health. And after all, not many American soldiers, perhaps not many rational people full stop, would willingly make a dash for North Korea. After going through his so-called reintegration program for the immediate future, there's then the question of disciplinary action. The US is keeping tight-lipped on that for now. An army spokesperson insisted that the focus right now is on ensuring the soldiers' well-being and privacy. We know that King had already been due to return to the US to face some kind of punishment before his abrupt defection. Having joined the army in 2021, King found himself in trouble in South Korea for assault and damaging a police car. He now might face the possibility of a court-martial, having crossed into North Korea without permission while on active duty. But it could take months to become clear. What might work in his favour is if he's able to offer some useful intelligence about these last few weeks in North Korean custody, given the highly unusual circumstances of his case. But then, North Korea probably didn't give much away. Pyongyang certainly doesn't seem to have found much propaganda value in King, with the exception of state media reporting that King was disillusioned with inequality in American society and unhappy about racial discrimination in the US Army. We might note that King's own families denied ever hearing him say that kind of thing, and ultimately, North Korea released King relatively swiftly by its own standards, expelling him as an illegal immigrant and evidently not seeing use for him as potential leverage in negotiations with the US. Not only will the North have realized that the US may have been unwilling to offer any concession for a soldier who was facing disciplinary action to begin with, before he compounded this with the defection to a country that considers the US its sworn enemy. But does this case tell us anything about US hopes to reboot dialogue with North Korea, particularly in the area of the North's nuclear ambitions? It's ambiguous at best. On the plus side, the North's returned an American citizen without any signs of physical harm, and King's release involved the cooperation of China, which also bodes well because it's a sign of working together through the circumstances of what North Korean leader Kim-Jong-un this week called a new Cold War. But then, Kim made that comment as state media announced an amendment to North Korea's constitution to allow for the expansion of the country's nuclear arsenal. Kim was quoted as insisting on the need to push ahead with the work for exponentially boosting the production of nuclear weapons and diversifying the nuclear strike means, while also accusing the US, South Korea, and Japan of creating the Asian version of NATO, the root cause of war and aggression. In the end, King's 71 days in North Korea might turn out to be a major moment in his own life, but more of a diversion on the bigger stage of Northeast Asian tensions.